Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. In today's video lecture of Advanced Communication Networks, we will recall all the basic concepts we have learned so far in this particular course. Till now, what we know about computer networks. So as we know, computer networks have seen an exponential growth in the last couple of years, and computer networks is now not restricted to US, or we can say sub-developed countries, but now computer networks is affordable and everybody is using computer networks in the form of internet. So today computer networks is not even an R&D networks where researchers were only sharing their ideas, but it becomes a big business. A lot of computing players are now involved in computer networks. These computing players are in the form of computing industry, telephone carriers, service providers and operators. Basically, computing industries are making devices for computer networks, and these devices are routers, switches, IDS, laptops and IP enabled phone, whereas telephone carriers are providing backbone for computer networks. Similarly, service providers are providing services for computer networks, and similarly we see operators they are providing even services and selling support as well. So how can we simply define today computer network? So we can say it's a global, ubiquitous and heterogeneous network. Global means everybody in the world is using computer networks. Ubiquitous means the network that is available anytime and anywhere, and heterogeneous means that the connected devices in computer networks are equipped with different operating systems and protocols. Means devices where operating system and protocols have significant difference. So these computing players, and just like a computing industry, as you see nowadays, we have seen and we know that a lot of high computational devices are available. We know that telephone carriers, we know that the backbone of computer networks are through fiber optic. Service providers and operators. Service providers, as we know in Pakistan, there are a lot of service providers for computer networks. Those who are providing the contents and services you would like to be connected with. So if we compare today's computer networks with the initial form of computer networks, so initially computer network was only an R&D network where researchers were using it for research purpose and they were sharing their ideas regarding computer networks. So now, as we know, it becomes a business and it's growing with tremendous speed. We see a high computational devices with high speed connectivity, and things are improving day by day due to competitions between service providers and operators. So at this global and heterogeneous networks, we are facing, and there are some issues in the form of connectivity, service level and performance. So issues of connectivity, how these heterogeneous devices will be connected with each other, and what would be the mode of connectivity. Service level, what kind of services it provides. Like for if you compare the service level for a normal user with a premier user, so service level of a normal users, a normal user can afford delay anything regarding the quality of service, but premium users can't and don't compromise normally with the quality of service. Performance, so performance, how to provide satisfactory performance. This is basically from the service provider perspective. For me, which operators are providing satisfactory performance. So basically these are the things we are facing with today's computer networks. So what we know, these are the things we know, and what we have learned. Carefully identify what we expect from a computer networks. What should be the final design of the computer networks, and how should it deliver cost-effective connectivity. Accomplished through nested connection of nodes and links. Smaller networks are connected with big networks, and that basically making networks of networks. The third important thing is process to process communication. As we know, and as we, in the previous lecture we have learned, and we studied about process to process communications. In process to process communication, basically you hide network complexity from end users to make fulfill the user expectation, not the engineers and network designer expectations, because ultimately we have to satisfy the end users. A particular network should offer high performance using metrics like latency, throughput, or retransmission attempts and these things. Basically, we are heading towards a packet switch network rather a circuit switch network. So for this particular network to make fulfill the user expectation and to offer high performance networks, what should be our approach? To make our network easily manageable, we divide the complex networks into a layer architecture. Now we can manage and we can troubleshoot our network more easily. So a layer architecture is a guideline for design. Then we define small components at each layer, that is called protocols, and these protocols provide services to the upper layer. So basically every protocol acquires services from the lower layer and provides services to the upper layer, and all this process should be done in a meaningful way, and for that we define two interfaces. The one is peer-to-peer interface, and the second one is basically a service interface. Similarly, to implement protocols and softwares, we use Socket API. So all these were from the previous lectures we have covered so far. In the next video lecture, we will start the coming topics. We also cover subnetting. So these were the things we cover in this particular course.